He walked behind us, but there's no. I live in a small place here, so. All right. Well, welcome back to Carnivore Backwoods. Today we got Carnivore Soldier here, Larry on. He's going to be telling us about his journey on the carnivore diet. Larry, how are you doing today, sir?
All right, man. I'm doing good. I'm out of Austin, Texas, guys, so it's really hot, but I'm happy to be here, man. Really happy.
Outstanding. So we're got a few people clicking in here. So Larry, give us a little backstory. Give us, how did you get to where you were, and what got you started on carnivore?
Right. So I'm a retired Army guy. I retired in 2019 at 53 years old. So I had a long career, and I know how my body responded to exercise and diet because I always had to stay in shape to be running and gunning with the troops, right? So I noticed that once I hit late 40s, early 50s, my body stopped responding like it used to. I couldn't, do the things to my body and have it recuperate, or injuries seemed to be nagging or piling up. A lot of things started changing, and also my diet, eating, I couldn't lose the weight like I lost before. So if I was getting ready for a record PT test and I had to get weighed and everything, I had to make sure I could diet in to get the right, right weight to get a good score. And my body just stopped responding, and it was strange. I just kind of wrote it off to being old, because that's what old people do. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just getting old, right? But it still bothered me in the back of my head. And then when I retired, boy, that's when weight started really coming on. 53 to 50, I'm 57 now. So 53 to 56, it started piling up. Weight, injuries, allergies, sickness, like all kinds of things started just going downhill. My health was definitely declining. And
how high was your weight?
I was 280 at my highest. I'm 6'2.5", athletic build, so I could hide a lot of weight. But at 280, it was no hiding anymore. I was maxing out my shorts, maxing out, like everything was just not fitting right. And I was kind of like refusing to go get new clothes. I'm like, I'm going to lose this weight. So I tried all kinds of different things to lose the weight. I had done keto before when I was active duty, and keto helped when I was getting ready for my PT tests. But keto was never a long-term thing for me. I always drifted back, probably because I started introducing these keto foods that are, labeled keto. But keto can have brown sugar in it. I mean, anything, there's no requirement by the government of what they have to label something keto. So you can look at, I would just stay away from anything that says it's keto, because it's probably garbage, right? If it's not whole foods, it's garbage.
If anything that's got more than 2 or 3 ingredients, you probably don't want to be eating.
I have the 4 ingredient rule. And if it's over 4, then I have to really dig in. If I just look at something that's got 3 ingredients, it's going to the basket. Boom, not even looking at it, right?
If it's got ingredients that I can't pronounce the name on, it's probably going to go back on the shelf.
Exactly. So I did do intermittent fasting. I did OMAD. I did alternate day fasting. I did lower carb, and none of it just seemed to work long time. I still had tons of cravings. I still would always fall off and get back into my old routines, whether the holidays came or whatever, right? Until one day I was on YouTube, and I was not looking for diet stuff. I was just, and probably because I had looked at diet stuff before, it knew what to feed me. And I was looking at something, I think I was looking at something for I'm a Jeeper. I was looking at something to change something in my Jeep. And I saw on YouTube Dante Fregno's 120-day lion diet experience. And I watched
Dante's got a great channel.
Oh, yeah. I was on his channel the other day, and he's a great guy, too. And I was telling him, I was like, man, I was so thankful to find that, because I got to be honest, if the first person and the second person I ever saw doing carnivore videos was Dr. Chafee and Dr. Baker, I'd be like, oh, yeah, you got to be a genetic freak to do this thing. Because look at these guys, they're freaking ripped elite athletes, and to see a regular blue collar Joe like me do it and have huge success. And then I was curious. I looked at later, years later, after that was an old video. So, and he was still on it and still looking great, looking better actually. And I was like, wow, that's legit. If this guy can do it, then I can do it. So that's when I made the decision, man, I'm doing this. That was in March. So March 22nd was day 1 for me.
March 22nd. I started March 1st, so not far apart.
Nice.
You know, Dante's a beast, you know, and I followed his channel for a while, you know, and you go back and look at his original videos and you look at him now, it almost looks like two different people, you know.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
facial features are there, but you look at it and it's like, man, that is just such a transformation.
Yeah. So I'm down from 280 down to 236 now. And I've actually been lion diet for the last 44 days. So I further restricted my diet, and it's easy. I mean, knowing what I know now, I would have started lion, I think. That's my honest opinion, because it's that much better and that much easier. You still there, buddy? I think he drops off his satellite sometimes, so I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Apparently my satellite's, you know, it's prime hour. I guess everybody's going to maybe be more of an issue now. Anyways, I dropped from 345 down to 279. So I'm at where you started.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you know, how tall are you, man? You probably know how I feel then.
I'm 6'2".
Okay. So here you go. Now, when I go rucking, I wear my 40-pound vest like Dante has. I had one from when I was in the Army, because in the Army, it's a little over 40. When we wear our IBA, which is our armor and our, you know, full kit, a set of, you know, magazines and a hydration system and radio and all this stuff, you're pushing 55, 60 pounds of gear before you put your rucksack on, plus your uniform and helmet, right? So I'm used to that. But I can tell you what, now at being 236 and taking that vest off after a ruck, I'm like, I can't believe I had that on every day, getting up off the couch, walking around. When you get down to where I'm at, you're going to be blown away, bro. It's pretty awesome. You just feel crazy. So light on your feet. It's
crazy now, you know, because I've lost, you know, 66 pounds. And, you know, carrying that around, you know, I was hauling some stuff the other day up the hill here, and I was like, wow, you know, just a little bit ago, I was carrying that plus more up the hill, just to get myself up the hill. So anyways, so you found Carnivore. What was your first video, Dr. Barry? Who'd you say you first noticed there?
Well, after I saw Dante, I went into the doctors first, because I'm like, I'm going to go to the doctors because these guys know what they're talking about. They're professionals, right? Not knowing that doctors know nothing about nutrition. I just assumed they all did till they all told me we don't know anything about nutrition except for what we learned on our own. And I love that because, you know, during like the disease outbreak we had recently, people used to ridicule people on Facebook for doing their own research, right? Back when I grew up, we called that reading. And these doctors all did their own research, right? And just for an example, I was a signal officer in the Army, and I'm a wireless network architect now. And none of the stuff that I do now or did in the Army existed when I went to college, because there was no internet. There was no phone. There was no cell phone. There was no wireless. So I did my own research and taught myself that. So it's ridiculous to say that you can't do your own research. And doing your own research should be reading, watching videos, you know, whatever you want to do. But there's reading articles or publications. And also finding out what's working for neighbors and friends. I mean, you know, a lot of my friends and neighbors have actually started Carnivore and are having great results because of mine. They saw mine.
Outstanding.
So, yeah, that's why I started a YouTube channel. I said, hey, I'm having this influence and just these people here, and they're all changing their lives. And then they're starting to tell their friends. It's like a ripple effect. I said, man, if I started a YouTube channel, because I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I don't know about you, but this is not like my plan. I don't like being on a camera. I'm just learning how, and I knew how to video edit because I had a drone license, so I did some video stuff. But I didn't want to do this. But the thing is, the comments I'm getting, amazing. I mean, I can tell you right now, it's changing lives so profoundly. I show them to my son, and I'm proud. I'm like, look at this. People are actually, their lives are being changed based on videos. I mean, I never thought. I guess it happened to me, so I guess that makes sense. But you just don't think of it that way.
I got some friends and stuff that I've talked to that have started Carnivore now, so I agree with you. You know, and it's helped them. And I love the outpouring of love that you receive on this community, helping people, and people that that just need that courage and motivation to take that step out there. I'm going to ask you one more question, then we'll get into some of the chat here and see if there's some questions. Anybody's got a question, please make sure you put a Q before it so we can spot it out. And I'm going to go back through here in just a minute. So you've been on it now for about 7 months. And what struggles have you had?
In the beginning, it was cravings. Like the first 60 days were pretty rough. The first 30 days were really rough. That was, I would say, the getting out of the carbohydrate addiction withdrawals, which they call keto flu, but it's really withdrawals because you're addicted. Yeah. There's a couple things going on the first 30 days. Besides the addiction, it's the new habits you have to make and the old habits you have to break at the same time, because you have to do both. You can't just do one or the other, right? You have to so what I did, and I was one of those guys, I don't know about you, but I couldn't clean my cabinet completely out, which I wanted to do. I don't know if you study history, but Cortez burned his ships when he came to the New World, right? Because he didn't want his soldiers to even think they had a way to get back. And they beat the Aztec nation with 600 soldiers because they were highly motivated. So I want to motivate myself. And if I had my way, I would have emptied everything out of my cabinet that wasn't carnivore. But I couldn't because my son wasn't carnivore at the time, and I wasn't going to force him. He was 13. I'm like, I'm not going to force the kid. He comes over from his mom's. I'm going to keep feeding him mac and cheese and whatever. So I kept a shelf for him, and I put everything else into baskets except for my seed oils, which I dumped out because I know how terrible they are now. So I took everything except for the seed oils and took it to the food pantry and helped people that were starving, because you know what? It's good starvation food. It'll keep you from dying. Other stuff.
I did quite a similar thing of clearing out a bunch of stuff, but my 17-year-old daughter, we're not making her do anything on the diet, but she's kind of been forced onto it, sort of, because she likes meat, and I'm cooking steak, and this is what we're eating every day. So she's more ketovore than anything, because just by the nature of dad's cooking dinner and she's going to eat what I'm cooking. So but it works out. But yeah, I cleared out a lot, but no, we didn't clear it all out. There's still stuff in the house. It's not carnivore, but I don't have any cravings for it. I think there's some candy around here somewhere that I picked up when I was doing some photography stuff for some stock photos, and it's still sitting around here. I don't care.
Yeah, the cravings go away for sure.
I'm going to look back through here in the questions and see.
Someone said, howdy, Chief. I guess, I'm a Chief Warrant Officer, retired Chief Warrant Officer. Some of you guys know me from the other channel, obviously. And in the Army, a Chief Warrant Officer is a guy who becomes a senior enlisted guy. So you have to have a pretty long career, because you have to be the elite, top of the enlisted to be selected. And then you can if you're selected, you can go to Warrant Officer Candidate School and become a commissioned warrant officer, which is a technical expert, different than a regular officer, which is just a generalist. So I was a network engineer, technical specialist, warrant officer. What do we got?
Pure Bride says, I started July 3rd, and continues on here. Down 30 pounds. 8 of those lost 4 weeks. 8 of those lost 4 weeks before starting carnivore. Outstanding.
That's
Congratulations.
Awesome. I know Pure Bride. They come to my channel every now and then.
Well, that's cool.
Thanks for stopping by, Pure Bride.
Absolutely. And then checking in from Austin, Texas. It's 100 degrees with a heat index of 104. I have 2 ablations with a
2 ablations.
Ablations. What is that?
FLX implant. I'm not a medical person, so I couldn't tell you about shortness of breath. But I would definitely, if you have medical issues going on, I would make sure you keep your doctor in the loop. And if your doctor's not supportive, you can shop around and fire them and find someone that is competent and supportive. That's all I got to say on that.
What'd you say? Hold on a sec. My resident RN here is.
Oh, there you go. Well, she knows.
Heart ablation?
Is heart ablation? Okay.
They basically take a laser and zip the center.
Unfortunately, I'm in the VA system, so I don't get to pick my doctor, but I do have a pretty good doctor that isn't fighting me. So,
well, that's a good thing. I mean, I don't have any that's fighting me. I just have some that are, had a deer in the headlight, looked like, I was the, reincarnated or something. But
yeah,
I would definitely suggest that you need to make sure you're working with a doctor. Now, there's a few different sites. If you go on Google and look up low carb doctor or diet doctor or keto doctor, you can actually search for doctors in your area that practice metabolic health and understand the low carb diet. And so if you're having trouble with a doctor who doesn't understand this diet, then I would definitely reach out and be looking for somebody that does. I think I found one here. I'm going to be looking into for myself, for that matter.
And I'm in Austin too, Betty. So I know how hot it is. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm in a VA system, so I can't help you with a doctor.
It's 88 degrees right here, and I'm pretty happy about it. So, hey guys, just got off work, heading out for a walk, but I'm going to be here listening. That's Ketovor.
Yeah, Oregonian. Yeah. She's an Oregonian, and she's Ketovor. So she's from Oregon. Yeah. I know her too. She just started a channel, so you guys go check her channel out because she's just starting and she's starting to share her videos. I think she's more of Ketovor, but still she's got a lot to share that's valuable. She's sharing pictures about her family in the 40s and 50s today and the genetics behind some of the obesity. You know, there is genetic proclivity to obesity for sure, but I think if you look back at like 1900, the obesity rates were 1%, and by the 40s and 50s, it was up in the 10s or 20s. So, you know, so when the introduction of the new diet, seed oils and sugar and all the things, you know, wheat, that caused an explosion. So.
And so Scotty's in the house.
Oh yeah, I know Scott.
Yeah,
how's it going, Scott?
And then we got Carnivore Soldier. You've influenced us day 5 of Carnivore here. That's outstanding. Congrats.
All right. Thank you, Jay Miller.
And we got how
many people we got in here now? Can you see?
We're up to 24.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good group.
Let's see if I got it. Oh, here's a question. Finally found one. Have you had any blood work done recently? If so, what does it look like? 6 months carny and doing blood work on Thursday. Any specific tests I should request?
Would you like me to take it? Because I do have some good blood work story.
Yeah, we both do. Go ahead and you go first, and I will.
Okay.
And I'll go second.
Okay, so when I first started Carnivore, I was 25 days in when I had my VA annual checkup, and I was pretty happy with myself because when I knew I was going to get blood work done because they always draw blood, which is great. So I was going to get a baseline there, but I was already 25 days in, and I had already dropped from 280 to 265 in 25 days. So I knew I was feeling great. My energy levels are great. My sleep was much better. Everything was better. I was trending in the right direction for the first time in years, right? So I went in and she looked at my blood work. It was borderline, no meds required or anything, but it was better than my last one. And I told her what I was doing, and she kind of gave me that deer in the headlight look, like you said, like, I don't know if that's good. And I'm like, well, it's working. And she said, well, yeah. So she said, here's what she said. She said, well, here's what we're going to do. Keep doing it because it's working. But in 90 days, we're going to do another set of blood work. And I was like, man, outstanding. I get another set of free blood work in 90 days. So I can basically baseline myself and see what I'm at, right? So I go back in 90 days later. This is day 140 or something. I don't know, whatever day it was. Anyways, about 90 days later, it's about 130, 140, something like that. So I go in, get my blood work in, and go into the doc, and she's like, well, I said, well, how's it look? She's like, well, you know, a couple of things are like only one thing. Your thyroid's like borderline. And I was going to prescribe you some drugs, but I can't because you're normal. And I'm like, so everything's getting better, right? She's like, yeah, everything is trending up. She's like, there's nothing that's gotten worse. Everything from testosterone to, you know, all my lipids and everything, they're all much better. And I'm like, well, there you go. And I was down not at 265 at that point. I was at 244, I think, at that point. So I had lost, 36 pounds. Made all the difference. My blood pressure, everything much better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my story. And it's gotten better. Yeah.
So I had my labs done in July of 22, back before I even thought about this diet. And so I had those to fall back on. And so I went in July 10th of this year and got my labs done. And my A1C went from 7.1 in 22, a year prior, to 5.7 in July of 2023. Now I've been on the diet since March 1st. So, that was just almost 4 months since I had started. And then my cholesterol, my LDLs were up just a little bit more than where they were a year prior, but my HDLs were up, which was good. And my triglycerides had dropped dramatically, and my ratio of triglycerides to HDL was 1.5.
Yeah.
You know, anything under 3 is considered optimal. So, you know, I've had some really good lab work done, but one of the things that I requested, and I requested, I want to know what my fasting insulin level was.
Yeah.
And the reason I requested that is because just because your glucose, fasting level may be down or hovering around 100, but your insulin level lets you know if you're insulin resistant. If that number's staying high, then your insulin's still in your body. And so, and it was, and through that, it led me to understand that my blood pressure medicine, HCTZ, was actually causing me insulin resistance. If you look up the side effects of that particular blood pressure medicine, that's one of the side effects is it causes insulin resistance.
Wow.
So now that I'm off of HCTZ, I expect my next labs to be much lower, and of course I'll be checking my insulin level again. But for Wayne B here, Google Comprehensive Labs by Ken Berry.
Yes.
It's a great book. And he goes through the labs, explains what each thing is about. And then he also tells you labs that they're probably not going to run, but you want to have run. And he explains why. And I couldn't go through all that right now off the top of my head, but it's a great book. I found a copy online that I was able to download, but you can get it. Like I said, I found a PDF version, but it's definitely worth reading through there and having a better idea of what you're getting done when you go into your labs. All right, got another question here. Betty Kirk, I definitely have withdrawals from carbs. I had shortness of breath today. Will that go away? You want to go with that one?
Yeah. So I've heard of that before. I think, you make sure that when you have carb withdrawals, make sure you're eating till you're satiated. So don't just make a portion and eat, and then if you're still hungry, not eat. And
make sure you're getting plenty of fat too, because a lot of people still want to try to eat lean.
Because that's what satiates you. I mean, don't be eating chicken breast unless you have to. I mean, that's like the poorest quality. You want to go with the higher quality. Ground beef for sure could be your base, right? Because that's the perfect, basically combination of protein and fat in the right proportions. So I eat, like today I ate 4 burger patties. That's all I've eaten today. And 2 and I'm satiated, then 2 again, I'm satiated. And I put some butter on it. I am Lion diet, but I'm kind of modified because I put a little butter on there for extra fat. And that's all I do. I think the shortness of breath, I think I've heard of that before, but I don't know exactly. I think what I heard was that, and this is just hearsay, so don't take it medical advice, but electrolytes can help with that. I've never had it, so I can't really tell you what I did. For electrolytes in the beginning, I would do salt, remnant salt, or just even pink Himalayan salt in water. And I would have bone broth. When I was getting rid of coffee, I do hot bone broth, and I put some butter in it and salt. And I went to the Redmond smoked salt in that. It's really good. Hot bone broth. That's got a lot of great electrolytes with salt in there. And then you can also do pickle juice. So I did dill pickle juice, which is not considered carnivore, but it was a good bridge for me, and it worked. And I liked the taste. So when I wanted a snack, I would get salt. You can even just put a little salt on your tongue when you want a snack, and that'll usually satiate you and stop your craving. That's
what I do. When I was having them, I just take a pinch of salt and put it in your mouth, and that would cure it. A lot of times the craving you're having is for salt. So a lot of times we think it's a food craving, but actually it's our body saying, "Hey, I need some more salt in me." I would say that if you're having shortness of breath, and I don't know what the severity of it is or anything, but I would highly recommend that if that continues, that you really need to reach out to a medical provider and let them know what's going on there. I'd be concerned with that. I expect that it probably will pass, but we're not going to give you medical advice, but we're just going to say that you got to make sure you're consuming your protein, you're keeping your fat level up. I eat steak. I'll eat 3-4 eggs with the yolk. You maybe throw on a few pads of butter, depending on the steak, to make sure that I'm getting enough fat in my diet, because this fat is absolutely crucial in this diet. And a lot of people get this idea that, well, I'm going to continue eating lean because I don't want to get fat. Well, no, fat doesn't make you fat. Fat feeds your body and provides you energy. And that may be why you're having some struggles, is you're not getting enough fat in your diet, and your body's struggling for it.
Yep.
But
And a lot of people,
if this continues on, seek medical professional on it.
for sure. And a lot of people will start off thinking they're going to do intermittent fasting with carnivore when they start. And that's a bad idea too, because really with carnivore, you just eat. Now, when I first started, I was eating 3 meals a day plus snacks. And the snacks, what I do is I'd fry up a whole pound of bacon, put it in the fridge, and that would be my snack. I'd eat some bacon. I might have a cheese stick or something, make sure it was all regular cheese, and I snacked and ate meals the whole way and lost weight radically. I think that when you put yourself into when you switch your diet at the same time and then do the intermittent fasting, what happens is your body can react thinking that it's got a lack of food and hold on to the fat stores. Yeah, for some people, not everyone. So it can put you into like a survival mode where you're going to lose less fat, right? So really by eating to
your body thinks you're starving, it's going to lock it up. It's not going to give it up.
Right. So you got to make sure you eat when you're hungry. That the whole idea is 2 things, right? Eat when hungry, whenever hungry, and eat till you're satiated. Now, that being said, your hunger signals will change because they've been deformed. They've been basically destroyed by these carbs and the processed foods we're eating that make you hungry all the time. That's not normal. What's going to happen is you're going to rarely get hungry down the road. And then you're going to have to remember to eat. You're going to kind of force yourself, okay, I should eat something. And once you take a bite, it'll taste good. Eat until it doesn't taste good. But I mean, that happened to me at first. I got to the point where I wasn't getting hungry and I'm like, I should eat. I really should. I haven't eaten today.
Or you start getting the mental game where you're like, well, I probably should eat. I'm not really hungry, but maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah. Especially at the lunch hour, for me, I'll be like, well, should I eat? And then I'll eat, then I'll feel bad about it later or something. You just got to eat when you're hungry. And then, you want to just
drop out. I think you dropped out again. When he drops out, can you guys still hear me when he drops out, or probably not?
Yeah, they should.
Let me know if you guys can hear me when he drops out, because I'm still on. Someone drop a message in there saying you can hear me.
I think they should be able to hear you even if I drop out.
Okay, good. Yeah, and then the other thing on the hunger signals is this, though. When you first start out, the first week or two for sure, you have to learn how to discern a hunger signal versus an emotional snacking response, because they're different, right? And you're going to have, you're sitting at work or sitting at home, even when you're working at home, I would get the emotional snacking need, like, oh, I need a snack. I need something to eat, right? I'm hungry, but you're not really hungry. You're just bored and you want to do something. So it's an oral fixation, or what do you want to call it? An emotional snacking signal. And the way you can get past that is the salt or something, or by recognizing it. Hey, I don't really think I'm hungry yet, so let me distract myself for a few minutes and see if it goes away, or have a glass of water and see if it goes away, or like I do, the sparkling water. If that happens, then it probably was just because as soon as you drink it, you're probably not hungry anymore. You never were hungry as an emotional response you were going against, but you have to learn how to identify those, and those go away though. They do dissipate greatly, but in the beginning they're super strong.
Yeah. You'll have these urges, these cravings, but after time it will go away. You have to wait for your body to adapt. That's what I was going to go way back earlier. So once you become fat adaptive, then fasting's easy. So like if I'm going to fast, I'm going to eat something, probably a ribeye. I'm going to consume a lot of, meat, protein, fat that night. And then I'll go, 24-hour fast, or I'll go a 48-hour fast. I haven't pushed myself out to a 72-hour yet, but I'm thinking about it. But that way you start strong and then let your body do it. And you will feel different through the fast, but it's a good thing. And then you will start healing. You'll start noticing things happen. Like I've had a skin condition on my hand since I was a kid. All this was rough. It's disappeared. From either this diet or from fasting, and that's what happens. Your body goes into repair mode and it starts dealing with things, and it's gone. The doctors had no explanation for it. It's just always been there since I was like 8-9 years old. See Scotty here. See Carnivore Backwoods. That's one way to get her to learn to cook. Actually, my daughter's an extremely good cook. I actually get her to cook for me from time to time. She makes good food. Pure Bride, it's a blessing to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Pure Bride.
Got another question here. What piece of advice do you have for someone just starting, or what do you wish you knew when you started? Let me get that. Or what do you wish you knew when you started that you knew now? Now.
I think for me, like I said, I would have started with lion diet just because I know the difference between them now. And you're going to go through you're going to feel like crap anyway. The first 2 weeks, you're not going to feel good. There's no matter, you can't ease into this thing. It's just going to happen, right? And your body's going to revolt because you're going to have carbohydrate withdrawals because you're an addict, just like I was, and just like Backwoods Carnivore or Carnivore Backwoods is. I mean, we were addicts, and everyone is. It's on the standard American diet, really. So, some people have less and some will have stronger, but you're going to have them. You're going to have these cravings. You're going to have these emotional snacking. So I would say if you're going to do it anyway, maximize your performance. Get the quickest, best results you can get right up front. And the way to do that is to go on a lion diet, or at least a modified lion diet, where you're just limiting, what you're eating to like beef, salt, and water. That's the cleanest. And then maybe add eggs in or something, but by eliminating all the other stuff to start with, you'll have the fastest results you've ever had. I guarantee that. Absolutely.
And, and if, the nice thing about this diet is you can eliminate, then you can add back in. So you can say, I'm going to stop this, then I'm going to add something back in and see how, your body reacts to it. And I would say that if you are, extreme diet the other direction, like if you're a vegetarian, you probably want to take your steps into this. I probably wouldn't go hardcore into anything because your body's not going to go from vegetable proteins to animal proteins quickly. It's going to cause you issues. So I would step into it, but that would be it. Clean your diet, make sure you get all your industrial oils out of your life. Clean that out. Pick you up a tub of lard from the store. It's cheap. You can pick it up and keep it for cooking in. Keep some butter, real butter. Make sure you read the label. They say butter on them, but a lot of that stuff is not butter. It's normally you'll say like sweet cream, and then you're getting butter. Olive oil is considered a good oil, but if the USDA allows them to put up to 60% fake oil in your seed oil in your olive oil and not even put it on the label. So you need to make sure you do some research if you still want to try to keep olive oil in your house. I don't recommend it. It has issues, but you got to watch these labels and do your research because there's a lot of crazy things that the USDA allows to happen, like calling something keto. Well, there's not a lot of regulation on it, and these guys get away with just labeling everything keto. When you actually look through the label, there's nothing in there keto.
Right. Yeah. Another thing I would say is if you're just starting, make sure you educate yourself daily. So one of the things I did too is first identify your why and make sure it's a big why. The why shouldn't be losing 10 pounds because that's not very big because you can quit that tomorrow. That's like, oh, well, done it before, been there, done that. Your why needs to be something big. Like for mine was, hey, I want to see my son grow up, get married, have kids, and I want to meet my grandkids. That's a big why, right? That's not something you can give up on because and I also want an exceptional quality of life when I'm older because I saw my dad getting old and how he was, really struggling with health. And I lost my mom at a younger age and I didn't want to go down that path. So that's my why. My why is general being in great health down the road and being there for my son and expected family in the future. So once you identify that huge why, then you got to set your goals and your plans. Like, okay, so I'm going to do this diet and you need to plan it out. Basically planning is just thinking about what you're going to do. Like we said, getting rid of your old seed oil, getting rid of your old, food out of there and making a plan on how you're going to make this happen. And anyway, I'm a big plans guy. So I really believe in that. So I think that's and one of the things you can do as part of that plan, though, is watching YouTube videos every morning for different content providers that are carnivore. Learn, educating yourself.
Immerse yourself in carnivore.
Yeah, immerse yourself and daily.
Yeah, immerse yourself in it daily. So you learn. I still learn stuff. I'm reading
Yep.
books or having audio books. I'm back and forth to work, and I'm learning stuff. I just went through Dr. Ken Berry's Lies My Doctor Told Me. Completed that one. I read Stay Off My Operating Table by Dr. Vita. And now I'm going through the book Kicking Ass After 50, which I'm 49. I'm right there, so that's a good book.
Yeah.
Immerse yourself in all the knowledge out there. There's a lot of good channels, and a lot of people come at it from different angles, so it gives you a good perspective to find out what works for you.
Yep. And I think that by doing that too, you're actually helping other people find this message, because don't just watch the videos, like and subscribe to these content providers. And if you can, leave them a message every now and then, something was good, because it really, content providers, we get a huge emotional surge from getting positive messages and things that are going well. And, we really appreciate that. And in addition
I love hearing from people.
Oh yeah. And in addition to that, like I saw that Dante Fregno video, and the only reason it came up on my feed, I guarantee, is because some person out there I've never met liked and subscribed, and it got fed into the algorithm, right? I don't know if it was a group of people or, different, but because someone liked and subscribed, it showed up in my feed. So it changed my life. So by liking and subscribing, you're actually doing an action that's going to spread this word out and affect other people indirectly. So it's really a positive thing to do.
Absolutely. And while we're on that topic, please like and subscribe. Yeah. Please like and subscribe to Carnivore Soldier site. I got it going on the ticker down here so that you guys can find it. Actually, I'll post a picture of it up here in a minute. Ketovor, Oregon here. Carnivore Soldier, you are too kind. Thanks for the shout out. Absolutely. Shoot me an email. And if you want to come on here and tell us about your journey, I would love to have you. You can reach me at carnivorebackwoods@gmail.com. And or you can find me on Instagram at Carnivore Backwoods or on Facebook at Carnivore Backwoods. But reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. Let's see. Do this real quick. All right. There's his YouTube channel, and if you go back over to that, oops, scroll it down here a little bit. You got lots of videos. So he's got a lot more out than I do, and I'm kind of jealous, but I'm working on them. I got some editing here. But he's got lots of good stuff, lots of good content. He's doing some movie reviews. I think he just did something on the chocolate diet, which I have to sit and watch.
Got to watch that, man. It's good. It just shows you how all the studies we were following. The chocolate diet is the latest movie review I did. I'm doing movie reviews on movies that relate to carnivore. So to diet is basically what they are. So they're all documentaries. And the chocolate diet is about epidemiological studies and how much of a farce they are. And those are the studies that you always see. Oh, a study says we should eat walnuts because it's heart healthy, or a study says red meat causes cancer, or processed meat causes cancer. These are all epidemiological studies. And these guys basically used the system that's out there that all these studies are made with and made a fake study that looked really real. And they got it published, and everyone took off with it like it was a fact and published that this is the way it is in America, Australia, England. Even like Shape magazine did a thing on it. It's called the chocolate diet. It was crazy. And it just shows how much of a fake, and and all these experts that do these studies are in there being interviewed, and they're like, yeah, this is how it works. If you have enough money, a professor will back this. And it's just really interesting. It's only an hour long and it's free. All the documentaries I've reviewed, I believe, almost all of them, are free, and I have links to the actual documentaries. You can watch them on YouTube or Tubi in the descriptions. So free entertainment.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just absolutely amazes me how easy it is to sway the masses to follow something,
Yeah, they're food myths. We've been flooded with
and they're food myths. Yeah, but if you tell them the truth, then they're like, no, that'll kill you. I'm like, no, it won't. Richard says my VA doctor is typical pill pusher. I don't think he has read any new articles in years.
They're not required to.
Yeah, it's not a requirement. They have a little bit of continuing education every year, but there's no requirement for them to learn anything new.
You're going to have to be your own advocate in the VA, especially. So, and then they may even like make you sign releases if you're not going to follow advice. Like they say you need a statin and you're like, I'm not doing a statin. Then you have to sign something saying, okay, I'm not going to do that. But they gave you the advice and they offered it to you.
Wayne B says that he's going to check out Ken's book. That would be, Comprehensive Labs. Definitely worth it. Like I said, I found a copy online. You definitely worth going through so you can better understand what you're getting these labs actually mean and how they affect your health. And then, of course, adding stuff in there. Let's see here. I modified strict line diet with butter as well. Amazing results. No cravings and 2 meals a day. Outstanding.
That's where I'm at. I'm at 2 mad. I had 4 burger patties and butter on both of them today and salt. Lots of salt, lots of butter. I love that.
I don't know if you answered this, Crypto Carnivore, but Known Insanity wants to know how long you've been doing it. I had shortness of breath when I first got back on keto in June, and I'm attributing it to oxalate
That's
dumping.
what I read. Yes, I read that.
So many other signs, and that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, but still get your doctor involved. But it may be a possibility.
Yeah, if it continues on, definitely get your doctor involved. Definitely don't want to risk your health. If you have to understand. I mean, that's what I said the other day on a live. I've been eating crap for 49 years, and I've been eating healthy for 7 months. I didn't correct what I did for 49 years. I've just started down a road to correct it. We've been doing bad stuff to our bodies for a long time. It's going to take a long time to heal that, and some of it may never heal completely.
Right. It's so funny because no one needs any advice. No one needs any permission or medical advice to say, hey, eat pizza and ice cream and you're going to be fine. But if you say eat like a healthy diet, then they're like, well, are you a doctor? And, I mean, like, seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You just told me I deserve that ice cream. Come on, man.
Eat donuts and ho-hos. You're perfectly fine. Been on a strict carnivore for 8 months and added butter the past 2 weeks and tolerating it well. Lost 70 pounds and an ideal weight now, 51 years old.
Way to go, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to throw something out there real quick, and we'll get back to this. But there's metabolically healthy doesn't equate to skinny.
Right.
And just because we lose weight does not mean that you're metabolically healthy. You need to get your blood pressure down, unmedicated, under the 135 over 80 or so. You need to get your waistline down. The measurement for above 2 inches above your belly button. Measuring your girth as a male is supposed to be under 40, under 35 for a female. You need to make sure that your HDLs are up and your triglycerides are down. There's a bunch of steps to metabolic health, and a lot of people think, well, I lost this weight, I got skinny, I'm healthy now, and unfortunately, it's not true.
That's right.
Skinniness doesn't make you healthy; it just makes you healthier. So you need to make sure you're getting all your metabolic health, and and that's the great thing about this diet is it's going to balance all that, but it's going to take some time. The weight loss might come fast, but the overall effect of getting all your metabolic health right might take some time. What are we got here? Been on a strict line. I think I already read that. Sorry. He posted it twice. Let's see. I'm looking for questions.
I think he was answering the question she asked, how long, right? That's crypto.
Yeah, and he posted twice. I didn't see
I
that.
got you.
Here's a question. Are eggs good to eat? Absolutely. Eggs are great to eat. It is actually probably one of the best things to eat. I mean, there's everything that you possibly need is in an egg. All your vitamins, everything's in there. It's a great source of fat. I eat, and most of us do. I'm probably eating 3-4 eggs a day. And at some points I was eating 6 eggs, 8 eggs a day. So we go through a lot of eggs in this house.
Some people have allergic reactions to eggs, and more specifically egg whites. So if you do have any reactions or notice anything, then you might want to switch just to yolks, or maybe have to cut them out. So some people do have reactions, but not many.
Some people, I've heard some people say that they actually have better results by removing the whites, even if they're not having an allergic reaction.
Right.
Some people just cook up a lot of yolks and then have it with their ground beef and stuff. the wife's been cooking eggs in a little bit of lard, and just kind of fluffing them up, and
Nice.
the flavor is amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, the lard adds extra fat to it. All right. Immersion in the carnivore message helps you mirror neutrons, start replacing what you hear. We do what we are surrounded by. Absolutely. You got to immerse yourself in it so that you know, and answer questions. And a really great resource is Dr. Ken Berry, and I tout him a lot, but he's got over 400 videos. And if you literally go in the search engine of YouTube and you type in diabetes, Dr. Ken Berry, well, there's going to be 3 videos. He's talked about it. If you type in, what's that? PCOS, Dr. Ken Berry. He's got a video on it. You Alzheimer video, cancer video. It don't matter what the subject is. He's probably already done a video on it. He's had his channel going for years, and he's got over 400 channels or 400 videos on there, and he's covered some of this multiple times. I think he's got like 8 different pooping videos. So you got to go in there and search. He's got great information.
I think one of the things that helped sell me on carnivore too was I used to follow Dr. Berry when I was keto. He was keto back then. And then when I saw Dante and I started looking at carnivore, I saw Dr. Berry carnivore. I'm like, oh, maybe he's just covering that. And then I found out he transitioned to it. I'm like, okay, that's legit. Because the guy,
it's legit. And if you go back and read his books, Lies My Doctor Told Me, he was more keto, working towards carnivore, and you can see it. And then if you watch his videos, you can see the transformation. And where he says, you know what, I think I was wrong. Yeah, I have my copy.
I'm reading it now.
I didn't end up doing the audio because I just didn't have time to read it. The audio was nice to go drive back and forth to work with. Sub to y'all. Well, we thank you.
Great.
I'm immersed so much I can't remember everyone's name. That's good. Just remember carnivore.
It's a great community. It really is.
Let's see what we got here. I got a question. Can you drink ACV and lemon on carnivore? Yes, you can drink it. Is it carnivore? No.
Yeah.
Will it cause some people to cry and scream that you're not carnivore if you're doing it? Probably, but I don't care. I do what makes me. If it helps you get to the next level and then you can remove it later, absolutely. If it's something that you're adding and it's got sugar and it's keeping you out of ketosis, then no, I wouldn't do it. But it's like the soda waters. If it helps you curb that addiction, you get you get the bubbly feeling of the water, and it helps you get through, then I support it wholeheartedly. What's your thought?
The only thing you have to watch is if you notice you start getting night cravings in the evening for something sweet, then it might be that. So you might want to cut that out if that's you notice. If your craving should go away in 4 to 6 weeks, you should have none. If you have
you have no
cravings, then it's something you're eating that's causing that, or drinking Diet Coke, artificial or natural sweeteners. That's the biggest one. So
keep the artificial sweeteners out. I mean, if you're drinking apple cider vinegar and some lemon juice, really shouldn't be hitting any sweet receptors. But if you're adding stevia, or you're adding Splenda, or you're adding monk fruit, you might be hitting your sweet receptors. And even though those are classified as supposedly good sweeteners, they're absolutely bad for you. Your body reacts to them just the same way as if you were feeding it pure sugar.
Absolutely.
Nona Sandy, yes, my sister is skinny and a diabetic. Is she type 2 or 1? Just out of curiosity, you can put that in the comments. But skinny does not equate to healthy.
No, there's a lot of skinny people that actually eat a standard American diet and stay skinny, and they're not healthy if they're eating that.
No, they're not healthy. And there's a lot of skinny people that wind up on an operating table, with their heart, in somebody else's hands. What do you think about Quest bars to help you get over the hump? I wouldn't recommend them.
No, that was my problem on the keto diet, and that's what always led me back, was that the cravings that they make are so insane, and the snacking cravings and the sweet cravings, both. The Quest bar will cause that 100%. Get rid of them. Go to salt.
So, if you have a dual powered vehicle, let's say you're running on gas or you're running on electricity. Well, you're doing one or the other. You're not doing both. And so if you're taking in sugar and you're keeping your sugar level up, you will not be burning fat. That's just a fact. And if you're burning fat, then you don't want to have sugar in there because it's going to default to the sugar every single time. So if you consume something that's got a bunch of carbohydrates in it, your body's automatically going to shut down the fat burn and say, "Oh yeah, we're burning the glucose out of here."
And don't look at net carbs. Don't look at net carbs.
Net carbs mean nothing.
That doesn't mean anything. It's sugar. It's
Yeah,
carbohydrates.
It's carbohydrates. You got to get your carbohydrates down under 20 grams a day. I average under 5, and I'm close to 0 or just minute amounts that I get from eggs and stuff, because there is a little bit of carbohydrates in an egg. But you got to keep your carb level way down, and those will just add up on you.
You're gonna have trace carbohydrates in a meat diet. That's what you're looking for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's what you want.
Yeah, but it's minute, and that's where you want to keep it. You want to keep it as low as possible so that your body's running on fat. Because the problem with sugar is that you take sugar and you burn all this, and then at some point your body says, "Well, I got too much of it. I'm going to put this in reserve. I'm going to turn it into fat," and then you start crashing. So then you put more sugar in your system in this roller coaster ride of energy, and that's in the peak of it's not giving you anything more. It's just going into fat reserves, and when you start converting your body to fat, burning, then what happens, you just get the steady energy. I mean, I have the great energy all day long. I don't get tired. I don't feel worn out. I don't get the yawns. I don't feel like I need a nap. It just continues on through. And that's the great thing about fat burn. So you just, it's a different energy because your liver's then making the glucose that you need to supply. And it's only supplying enough that you need. And if you need more, it'll supply more. I lost where I'm at here. Let's see. Keto. Got a lot of people in here. We're at 23 and lots of messages going on here. I'm practically zero carb, but I can still call myself Ketovor to avoid the carnivore police.
Yeah, whatever.
I went through the struggles of dealing with people, and now it just makes me giggle when they're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna die! You can't do that." I'm like, you really need to sit down and take a deep breath and understand that you've been lied to, and here's why. And then I'll explain it out to them. My sister's type 2. So yeah, I mean, that's solely directly based on the amount of sugar that she's taking, carbohydrates.
Yep.
And if you got on this diet and cut her carbohydrates, within 6 months she'd probably be off her medicine.
Probably
12 months.
Yeah, probably reversible.
Yeah, type 2 diabetes is 100% reversible.
Yep.
Type 1 is a completely different story, but type 1 can be managed with carnivore too, and there's a lot of information on that. But type 2 is definitely reversible. Like I said, I was classified diabetic, 7.1 A1C, taking metformin, and had been taking it for a few years now, and now I'm no longer on metformin. I'm no longer considered diabetic. And in the next time I go in for my labs, I'm sure I'll be well into the good range.
That's awesome, man. Yes, no processed keto foods, no processed foods at all. I mean, if it's got a shelf life and it's in the middle of the aisle, stay away from it. You basically want things that'll spoil. Those are what you want to eat.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry.
I was just saying that you want to pass on all processed foods. Anything that's got a shelf life in the middle of the aisles in the grocery store, stay away from. You want stuff that's going to spoil. If it's going to spoil,
I go into the grocery store. I'm headed straight back to the meat section. I'm going to hit their meat aisle. Normally, I'm looking for stuff that's on sale. If I did my research and before I know what's on sale, I'll go in there and I'll clear out their display and I'll just pick it all up and stick it in my cart. I'm not shy about it anymore. I'm like, oh, there's 10 packs of steaks here. We'll take that. We'll put it in here. I may go down and pick up a little bit of heavy whipping cream because I like it in my coffee. It's one of my quirks. I just have to have that. But we're in and out, and then we go to Sam's Club for pretty much everything else. But I search all the ads for all the grocery stores in town to see what's on sale, so that I can run over there and clear out what they have. Okay. Any more questions?
There's one from Betty Kirk. Good for your teeth. Look down. Betty
Yeah,
Kirk.
I was almost okay. Yeah, down at the bottom here. I heard carnivore was good for your teeth too. Absolutely.
Yep.
I've heard people, have corrected their gingivitis, and of course, I mean you're eating meat, so you're doing a lot of chewing, so that's always good for stimulating the blood in those areas. Unfortunately, I had my top teeth removed, a few years ago because of my horrible diet, so there ain't no correcting that one.
Right. No, my teeth
But
are way better.
I still have my bottoms.
My teeth are stronger feeling, and they're a little whiter. They got whiter, and they don't get a film on them like they used to. So I don't know. I think they're just better, and I don't have any bleeding gums at all anymore. So gingivitis 100% fixed.
Charger Mopar's in the house. Hey, Rick. Just got the store sale paper. Pork chops are 98 cents a pound starting tomorrow. Throw out the name of the store that you're talking about so everybody knows. I think you're down in Florida, and don't tell me it's iguana because we don't want iguana at 98 cents a pound there, Rick.
No iguana.
And then known to Sandy, well, you can't even get the bones here for 98 cents a pound.
Yeah, dental floss for sure. What's my name? My name's Lawrence. Larry, but Lawrence. My last name is actually All Hands, like all hands on deck. And that's my real name. It's a German.
What a great name for a soldier.
Yeah. I actually started out in the Navy, which is even a better name, right? Because petty officer All Hands.
Yeah.
And everyone loved that. Everyone loved that name in the Navy. So it was very popular.
I can imagine.
And I tell you what wasn't great, though, was growing up in high school and trying to get a date because none of the girls' dads wanted their daughter going out with All Hands. I can tell you that right now.
So here's a question for you that just popped in my head. What's your view of what soldiers are eating versus what they versus a healthier diet?
So the problem with that is in the military we go by the federal guidelines, and that's what they give you even in the chow hall. So the chow hall is like real food, but then the guidelines state it's the food pyramid, so it's a terrible configuration of food. It's a terrible plate. So that's one problem. The other problem is when you go to the field and you have MREs, meals ready to eat, these packages. I'm going to do a video on an MRE where I'm going to open it and read all the ingredients because like I did in the McDonald's fries. It's amazingly disgusting. They taste bad.
I've ate them. Some of them are really good with Tabasco.
Oh yeah, no, you can make some okay. You can doctor them up, but still they are bad. And what's in them is you can't get one with less than like 40 ingredients. I guarantee you, they're huge. Because they got shelf lives of like 10 years, right? So you made MREs? I probably ate some of yours.
I've ate MREs.
Oh,
I used to. I back when I was younger and used to hunt a lot and go out in the desert and stuff. I used to pack some of that stuff with me.
Terrible. It's
awful. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. All right. I think you answered it here the better. Fresco Mass is the store. I'm not familiar with that one, but some of our followers here probably are. I'll tell you another good one. If you got a Publix, in your area, Publix grocery store, 2 times a year, they put rib roasts on sale. Ribeye roasts.
Nice.
And so you go there at Easter and at Christmas, and they'll have. I got them last year at Christmas for $6.99 a pound.
Wow.
And they were big roasts, and they were still on the rib, but they'd actually already cut it away from the rib. So I just stuck it and then I cut it into steaks.
Nice.
And I got that for $6.99 a pound. So that's a little tip. Publix, if you got them local to you, twice a year, every year, they do it every single year, Christmas and Easter, they put ribeye roasts on sale. And you'll find me there clearing out their display case. We got a question. When you switched your dog to carnivore, did you do it slowly or did you do it all at once?
So that's referring to me, I think, because I have a video on how to feed your dog carnivore. And so I did his all at once, but you could easily do it slowly if you just do one. I don't know if my dog eats 2 meals a day, so he could have done kibble and then, meat. But I just switched them all over at once. He had diarrhea for a week or two. and made sure he kept hydrated and had a lot of water. And then when his body totally adapted, like ours, when you get fat adapted, and they do it quicker because they have a higher metabolism and everything. His poops like went from giant affairs. He's a 130-pound Great Dane, as you can imagine, from giant affairs to tiny little white poops. They turn into white in the sun because they have so much calcium. Because all he's pooping out is what he's not digesting, which is not much. And I grind up the chicken bones, the chicken, everything.
So it's pretty similar to what you find in the wild when you find coyote scat or
yes.
Yeah, interesting. So anyway, I never even thought about putting my dogs on carnivore.
Oh, it's
that's
cheaper.
Not a bad idea.
I save so much money. I'm paying about 40 to 50% of what I did on kibble.
Really?
I buy 10-pound bags of chicken quarters for $4.40 and grind them and put them in 1-pound containers, and I feed them 2 pounds a day. So it's cost me way less. I was paying $60 to $80 a month in kibble because I was buying high quality kibble. And now he looks better. His teeth are clean. Like the vet used to always get in my case by his teeth. And she's like, no, his teeth look great. And I'm like, I'm not brushing them because I always try to buy that toothbrush thing and do that. It doesn't work. He's like licking it. And,
So did you say you're grinding them up?
Yeah. I bought an industrial grinder and I have a link on my website. If anyone wants to see what I do, go look at my video. It tells you how to do it, but I grind the quarters, bone and all, and then put them in 1-pound containers and put them in the freezer. So I'll do 60 to 80 pounds at a time in the last month, month and a half or a month. So,
wow, I have a big meat grinder. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, if you got one, so 60 pounds. I mean, that's 10-pound bags at $25 for 60 pounds, and you get about 50 pounds of meat out of that. 50 pounds of so that's pretty good.
Absolutely. You guys are great. I hope you have more videos like this one. Thank you so much. Absolutely. I know. Larry here's working on videos on his end. I got some videos I got to finish up on mine. I have a live tomorrow night with Wick Goes Carnivore. I think about same time here we're going to do it, and then I'm working on some other videos or lives that are going to happen. And then every Sunday at noon, I'm going to go live and just invite some random carnivores in and have a carnivore chat. Carnivore conversation.
I've got a live tomorrow too, but it's at this time, starting at 7. So it's after yours, I think, because yours is at 6, right? Or 7 Eastern time. Mine's 8 Eastern. 7
Eastern.
Yeah, mine's 8 Eastern time. So mine's my live tomorrow starts at 8. So you can catch both of us if you want. If you want more, we'll both be on. Yeah,
absolutely. And I may do it remotely on this one because my internet's being temperamental at this hour. During the day, it's not too bad, but I seem to be getting a lot of dropouts tonight.
Do you have any cloud coverage? That can make a difference.
Yeah, it was partly cloudy today. It might be like that out there. All right, let's see here. Any more questions? Public has high prices here too. Yeah, so Public is high, but like I said, twice a year. I don't go there often, but I will hit there in Easter and I will hit there, in Christmas because they just go, crazy, on reducing the price of ribeye roasts. And these are good sized ribeye roasts. So it's definitely worth looking at. Like I said, I wouldn't shop there on a daily basis, no, but I will go there if it's on sale and it's something I want to put in my freezer.
In Texas, I go to HEB. They have good butchers there, and then I go to Costco, and those are my two mains. So if you're in Texas, that's what I do.
I got Food City here, and Food City has this 5 for $20 deal. You can get 5 items for $20, and it's mix and match. But one of the items is chuck steak. They're just under a pound, and they got chuck steak. So I'll go get 5 chuck steaks. Because like I said, it's mix and match. You can do whatever you want. I'll get 5 chuck steaks for $20.
Nice.
So you can get 10. I went in there one day and cleared out. They had like 10 steaks in there. It was $40 worth of meat. Cost me $4 a steak.
Hey, we got a question.
Yeah, I see it. Butter, salt, or unsalted is a preference only. That is that. You need the salt. So I just get salted butter because you need to consume quite a bit of salt. You have to. On the standard American diet, you're consuming an immense amount of sodium And when you come off of the fat diet and start on carnivore and you're eating clean and you're eating meat and eggs and there's no other ingredients, you're not getting the salt that you were getting before. And so salt's a really key electrolyte that you need to be consuming. So I like salted butter, but that's a preference, that you're going to end up salting your food anyway. So you might as well have the salt and the butter to start with. I think personally, that's my thoughts. What's yours?
Yeah, the only butter I don't get salted is if I'm making brown butter bites, because they get too salty because it really concentrates. So I get unsalted Kerrygold when I do brown butter bites. But if I'm just for every day, it's always salted for me for everyday use.
Yeah, we haven't made any brown. I've watched some videos on it. I think the Carnivore couple did one on it or something like that. But we haven't done them. But yeah, I don't have experience with that. But we go through quite a bit of salted butter here every week.
I haven't done brown butter bites in a long time. I did them in the first couple months as part of my snacking, getting over snacking thing, right? I wanted something available. I had bacon and I had brown butter bites. But now that I'm past all that, I have some butter in there and I've never used it. So it's unsalted. I'm like, okay, well, I got
a big Blackstone grill, and what I would do to get through it is the bacon at a time. And I would just cook 3 pounds of bacon, and then we'd put it in a Ziploc and keep it in the refrigerator. And so if you needed something to snack on, you grab a piece of bacon, got a lot of fat, got some protein in it, and that would get you through. And honestly, that only lasted for a few weeks. And then now I got a lot of bacon in the freezer that I haven't even cooked because I just haven't felt like cooking it.
Yep. Bacon is what I call it, bag bacon. And it's like I send him. So my son is carnivore now. He actually decided to go carnivore. And when I make his lunch, I put a Ziploc bag with 3 or 4 pieces of bacon in there for him. That's his protein bar. And I'll do meatballs. I'll put all kinds of different things in his, cheese sticks. He always has a lot of good protein and fat in his lunch now. No breads, no chips or anything. And he loves it.
So tell us a little bit more about your son. We've been on this for an hour and 6 minutes. I don't know what you got going on.
I'm good. So my son's 14. He's a great kid. I'm pretty blessed there. And I know, it's a roll of the dice, environment's part of it, but the way that they're just born a certain way. I think he's a really responsible kid, straight A student in a college prep school, plays sports, and really considerate and respectful. So I'm super happy with him. But when he decided to go carnivore because he wanted to improve his sports performance and heal better, I was like, okay, well, I'll help you. And I did. And like his first 2 weeks in cross country he's been in, this is the second week, I think, he's taken 23 seconds off his PR. So that's pretty significant in a run. Yeah. So it's working. And he's like, he feels like he has unlimited energy. Like he can just pick up and accelerate past people. So
that's the great thing about it.
I can't imagine what it'd be like being young on this, because I know what I feel like now. And I feel so young now. I feel like I'm in my 30s and I'm 57. Like I said, I was doing wind sprints up a hill. And, 6 months ago, that never would have happened. I wouldn't have walked up that hill. And I can't imagine what being a 14-year-old and being on this is like. But,
yeah, what a great thing. What a great thing for him, because this is such an amazing diet. And once you learn that and you realize that you're going to beat, my daughter was talking about going out and racing and how she beat a bunch of people. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to talk about? Any final thoughts?
Me or the crowd? Oh,
no, you.
Final thoughts. I would just say, again, I just encourage you to watch YouTube videos regularly and support the community. Find people that are making content, not just us two, but look for other people too. If their messaging's good, support them. If they're just starting out, support them. And I think that's a huge thing. It's part of setting your mindset on a daily basis. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, and I still do this, I go to my Google Calendar and I type in an entry, what day of carnivore I'm on and what day of lion diet I'm on. Just so I set my mental mindset that this is a day I'm doing carnivore. And if you can tell yourself that in the beginning of the day, each day, especially those of you who are just starting now, this is day 3, this is day 4, and to keep track that log. And then also I would journal or record somehow some of what's happening each week, at least, if not daily, just like how you're feeling. And then one last thing I'd say is don't look at the scale, because it's the worst indicator of your success, I think.
Absolutely.
I remember I got stuck at 250 pounds for a month and a half, but my waistline kept getting smaller. My pants were falling off my ass, and I had to buy new belts, even though I was still at 250. So the scale is definitely not the thing you need to focus on. The weekly weighing's great. It's a good indicator of what's going on, but your body and your healing is the real reward here. The weight will just happen. The weight loss is just going to happen. It's got to. It can't stay on. So
the goal, the ultimate goal is not really to lose weight; it's to lose fat, and
to be healthy.
As you gain muscle, and it'll offset the fat, and that'll happen for a while. And I tell people, get a cloth measuring tape.
Yep.
Measure your girth, just 2 inches above your belly button. Relax, don't suck it in. Just give yourself an honest measurement and track that. That'll give you a much accurate reading of where your fat level is than jumping on the scale, which is going to lie to you. It's going to be like, nope, you didn't change. You went up 2 pounds today. Yep, it went down a pound today. It'll be a horrible roller coaster ride for you emotionally to watch that scale. The measuring tape is much more accurate. Once a week, measure yourself. Oh, I was 48 inches around. Now I'm 47 inches around. Well, you've lost an inch from your girth. That's a big thing to celebrate.
Right. And 100% I agree on that. If you set a goal, don't set a goal to a weight, set a goal for a time. Say, hey, I'm going to do carnivore for 90 days and see what happens, and make that your goal. Right. And if you fall off and you screw up, which is fine, get back up on that horse and ride again like it didn't happen. You just have to have a short memory and pop up and go.
And then as you go along, you'll learn what you can do and what you can't do, and you'll start making mental notes. Okay, I can't do that again. Learn. If it's something that's going to cause you to spiral off diet, then you don't want to be doing it. But if it's something you can do, here and it won't bother you, that's perfectly fine. Sunday last week, I went out and had dinner with the family. It was we celebrate my birthday, and I had some cheesecake and some stuff that was off diet. But then I fasted for the next 2 days and went right back on the diet. 2 days later, you just got to figure out what works for yourself. All right, sir. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your service to this country. Yeah. I appreciate you being on the carnivore diet. I appreciate the fact that you spent some time with us tonight. I think we had a lot of good questions and a lot of good answers. And I look forward to doing this again. We'll definitely have to get together. I'll come over on your channel. We'll do it. Sure. We're always available to answer questions. So where are you at? What channels you got? What channel? You have Instagram, you have Facebook, Gmail. What's your contact?
Yeah, points? I have a Facebook account. You go to actually all my stuff's on carnivoresoldier.com. So go to carnivoresoldier.com, and that's got all my links for all my social medias, rather than listing a bunch of stuff out. Or you can go and you can find that link on my YouTube channel too. So you go to my YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and click on that link to my website, and you'll see everything. Also, I do have affiliate links there for anything that I actually use on a daily basis or use in my videos for making food, which is daily basis stuff. I have links for that stuff in my website. I don't link to anything I don't use daily. So if you want to know what I use or how I do my food preparation and stuff, it's all in there. Or making dog food, that's all in there. So
do you have any t-shirts or merchandise or anything?
Oh yeah, I do. I have a merch store there. It's on carnivoresoldier.com as well. There's a merch store. I've got some new logos, the Resilient Warrior 100% carnivore t-shirts that are coming out. These ones are numbered. They're saying since 2023, and next year I'll have one saying since 2024. So if you started this year, you probably want to get a 2023 one so you can look like old school 3 years, 4 years down the road, right? Because that won't be available next year.
And that's something I just want to throw out there. You can make YouTube for free, but it's not very good quality. So most of us are spending money out of our own pockets to make sure we have a few of the nicer things, like StreamYard that I'm on right now. It's a paid subscription. So helping out a channel by buying their merch and hitting their affiliate links, it just helps us out for paying for the stuff. Nobody's getting rich on this, trust me. But we're just trying to pay for what we're doing so we can provide you a decent quality video for you to learn from. Speaking of which, I'm going to post something up real quick here. If I'd known you had merch, I would have done this for you too. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But it's no big deal.
These are new shirts.
Oh, nice. Looks good, man.
These are new shirts I just designed and put up on my Etsy site. You can find the link in my Facebook or on YouTube. Carnivore diet, stay wild. I thought that was a great idea. So if you like the shirts and stuff, I do have those up. And like I said, you can find the link to it. It's on my Etsy. It's Carnivore Backwoods on Etsy. You probably just search it directly. And then I think that covers it, sir. And I appreciate you. And we'll do it again here. Everybody, you have a good night.
See you later, guys. Thanks.